Yeah, oh, aren't you a good boy? You want the Cheerio? Yes. Oh, drop the Cheerio. You got the Cheerio. Coney. Con. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We got Coney this year. My thoughts exactly. It is 2021. We made it, guys. Congrats. Oh, this year's been really fun. So today I wanted to sit down with a bit of encouragement for you guys as we go into the new year, because I know that everybody's a little terrified of what's to come, but also hopeful that it won't look like 2020. Honestly, I've joined everyone in making fun of 2020, and I loved the memes for it. 2020 was good for the memes, don't get me wrong. But there comes a point where I don't want to like come across as rude, but we need to stop being the victim. This is kind of in the mindset I've really tried to take on this year. I really didn't want to let 2020 ruin my year. Not that a number can really do that. I saw a meme yesterday. It was like, it's really unsettling to think that 2021 is literally just 2021. But I just really didn't want my situation or my circumstance to determine my joy. And that's something it wasn't easy to do. It's not easy to just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna be happy even though everything around me is falling apart. But it's just actively making decisions that's gonna make your life better, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, that's my little intro. Today I'm talking about realistic New Year's resolutions that I have for myself. And this is all under the umbrella statement of my one New Year's resolution. And I wanted to say this was realistic because sometimes I make goals for myself that aren't realistic, and it's like, I'm gonna travel the world and I'm going to lose 500 pounds. But no, I wanted to talk about realistic New Year's resolutions. And so my realistic New Year's resolution for this year is to take care of myself. That's it. It's not as easy as it sounds, but this encompasses 3 different things: mind, body, and spirit. And this is something that I've really tried to work on, the 3 areas of your life that basically make you a well-rounded, holistically well person. So that is how this little video is going to be divided up in. It's going to be the mind ways I'm going to take care of myself, the body ways, and the spiritual ways. And then I'm going to finish this with a 2020 reflection, looking back at my year, some of the things that I accomplished despite 2020 being crazy. I wrote them down actually throughout my year, things that I felt good about doing this year to basically be more grateful. And because I honestly did have a decent year. It was crazy, things got upended as they did for everyone, and I'm just grateful for some of the things that I forced myself to do this year or taught myself this year because of the obstacles that I faced. And so without further ado, let's get into this video. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And that is, yeah, let's just jump right into this. All right, 2021, let's do it. So the mind part of taking care of myself. The overall like not physical, what's the word? The overall not concrete way of doing this is I want to start doing things today. That's like a #1 thing, because if anything, that's what quarantine taught me, or that's what COVID taught me, that tomorrow, you don't know if you're gonna have tomorrow, so you got to do it today. So things that I really want to do but I always put off are starting a blog, working out, eating better. Like these are things that like I'm like I'll do it tomorrow, but then like tomorrow comes and I'm like I'll do it tomorrow, and it just never happens. So I really want to start a blog. That's something that I've always wanted to do. I also want to grow my photography page. That's another thing that I just want to like do it. One of those things I did do this past year is start this channel, and I had always said, oh, I'll start it tomorrow, start it next year, the year after that. And then I started it as a senior in college when I really wanted to start this channel back in high school. And I was afraid to do it because I thought people were gonna think less of me. And it's a little different in high school because, you know, I'm seeing those people every day. In college, it's easier. But I just never started my channel because I was like, I'll do it tomorrow. I don't have the camera for it. I don't have the equipment. People are gonna judge me. And so when I finally just did it, I just made a video over quarantine because I had the time. I was just like, okay, that's the hardest part, doing the one step. That was actually a goal that I've already accomplished, starting this channel. I just overall want to be mindful and present. I've definitely had anxiety, like decent anxiety over the past 2 years as a result of my move to Florida. And one thing that's really got me through is just taking it day by day and just like, you know, making good decisions for myself as days come, instead of thinking constantly in the future, because I'm definitely a forward-thinking person. I'm definitely like, oh, I can't wait to do all these big things, but sometimes it's the little things that matter. So that's my little rant on that. Another goal I have is to journal more. I started kind of doing it this year in this journal, but I more did like bullet point notes and stuff, and that's fine too, but I really want to write and kind of like get everything out on paper. What also goes with that is I want to read more and just get my mind in this like healthy place. I feel like in high school I used to be just so much mentally healthier because I was doing things that I loved, and in college things get so crazy and I'm thinking, oh, I need to get a job, I need to get an internship, I need to do work, all these things. Don't mind the dogs in the back. But now I just want to make choices in the midst of all the noise and craziness that better myself. And then finally, the last part of this mind thing, I just watched The Social Dilemma, and it's funny because I'm an advertising major, so it's concerning to see The Social Dilemma. It's good to be aware though and know that, you know, ethics is really, really important to bring with me into my career. But I do want to stop letting social media run my life so much as it does for so many people. I want to use the better half of social media is the goal that I'm going to put forward, because to say I'm just going to cut out social media just like never works. But to say I'm going to use the better half of that means no Twitter, getting off of Twitter. Twitter's just like not a good place to be. I want to use Pinterest more, which is more goal oriented and like painting your ideal life in a bit of a better way. Of course, it can get unhealthy. I want to use Pinterest more and YouTube more and just look at inspiring things more rather than like things that tear me down, like looking at the news and stuff. So no more Twitter. no more scrolling through a feed endlessly, and that goes for everything. Twitter, Instagram. I don't want to just constantly be like looking at things. I want to start doing things. So that is the mind section of this. Moving into the body section, a common goal everyone always sees is losing weight. Now, when I made that my New Year's resolution goal last year, it didn't necessarily work right away. I needed to kind of have a wake-up call in about June when I realized I put on weight and I was like, all right, enough, this isn't working. Like, this goal is not working for me. So instead, my goal this year is to move more. That's it. I want to move more. That includes going to the gym, but it means going for hikes, going for more walks, swimming, playing tennis, dancing, whatever it is. I just want to move my body and not just be so idle. I'm on my feet all day at work, so this like kind of works, being like on my feet all day. At least I'm not sitting, but I just want to do things that like get me to move more. And I kind of want to try a Zumba class. I feel like that'd be really fun. I really like to dance. I'm not good at it, but I like to do it. The next part of this body wise is, instead of eating healthy, it's eat with more intention. I want to make sure that everything I'm putting inside my body is good. I'm eating with a purpose rather than eating mindlessly, because that's kind of where I feel like a lot of my struggles with eating come in. I definitely am not a snacker per se, but I am definitely addicted to like carbs and stuff, and that's not good. And over the summer I was doing really well with healthy eating, but it's really hard during the semester to do that and cook for myself and when my mom's not helping me at school, that makes it harder. Speaking of eating with intention, I'm going to try and kick off my 2021 with a cleanse, so I'll keep you updated on that. Might do a video about that because I've done it before. It was a healthy week in my life, and yeah, I might post that again and kind of like show what I'm doing with that, but that's just a little PSA. Another body thing is I want to cook more and try to actively like test out recipes because I need to learn how to cook. I've done a good job like starting that, like looking at recipes online. I make this really good sun-dried tomato cream sauce with chicken, and it's not the healthiest, but it's still like cooking, and I love that. I love sun-dried tomatoes, so things like that where I'm going to actively search out a recipe and use it. I also want to drink more water. Basic goal, but I need to remind myself to do that, so that's on there. Oh, this next one is I want to work on my posture because I have really bad posture. So back in middle school, I was like really tall, and I didn't want to be the tallest girl in the class, and so I used to slouch, and I used to like try and be shorter, and it's definitely affected my posture to this day. So I want to be mindful of my posture and stretch more so that I'm increasing the strength in my back muscles. But yeah, posture is one of them. This is just like a random one, but I want to be a plant mom. That's it. I just want to be a plant mom. I want to take care of a plant. And finally, for body, I want to invest in my style more and really try and buy clothes that I want to wear. And then finally, the spirit side of this. I'm a Christian, and so that's what spirituality means to me, spirituality. But overall, this kind of goes for everyone. My spirituality goal is to be more grateful. It's really hard to be upset about things you don't have when you're focusing on things you do have. And I think that's what got me through this year. That's what got me through quarantine. Instead of being like, I got sent home early from school and my internship got canceled and my travel plans got canceled and all these things got canceled and I had to say really hard goodbyes to people. In the midst of all of that, I was looking at things I did have. My family was healthy. I have my family. I live in a beautiful place that I'm more than grateful for. I have things. I live in a house. Like, I am not homeless. I am taken care for. I have food on my table. I know Jesus loves me. All the things that I was grateful for made it hard for me to look at the negatives and play this victim card that I saw so many people do, and I didn't want to fall into that. I didn't want to just be like, oh, woe is me. Like, I don't know. Like, that's what got me through quarantine. And another thing is, don't take life for granted. That's you just never know when you could lose people or when you could lose your job or what you're currently doing. You never know when your routine's just gonna be messed up like that. That was a pretty crazy thing that we all went through, and we should all honestly be grateful that we made it through that. We did that. We're going to be a generation that made it through a pandemic. We're gonna be a generation that is able to get through something as tough as having your whole life upended. And that's a universal thing. We all did that. So that's another one of my spirituality goals. I'm gonna end this with a little 2020 reflection. So like I said, at the start of quarantine, I just didn't want to mope. I really didn't. I really wanted to do good. And I was grateful for the time that I had over quarantine that I would never otherwise have. I'm about to graduate college, and I know that I'm about to go get a job and not have summer and winter vacations, and it's gonna be harder to see people. I'm gonna have to restart all over again, and I'm aware of that, and it scares me a little bit. But instead of focusing on the negatives, I really wanted to highlight the positives and just like actively, instead of wishing I would do something good, actively do something good and make choices. So a few of my 2020 accomplishments, which I'm like very excited to share, is I had already made a video on this, but back in the summer I lost 15 pounds. This semester I've put a little bit of it back on, but I'm going to I'm learning to just love my body. I'm happy that I did that. That was really an accomplishment for me this year. I completed a lot of my gen ed requirements for school, and basically I'm on track to graduate. I did that over the summer. I took a bunch of classes to get a head start and get myself going, and I'm really grateful that I did that. I got an internship this year at an animal hospital in the marketing department, as well as an internship with the on-campus advertising agency at my school. So those were two great accomplishments that I was able to put on my resume. I did my first ever paid photography shoot this year, which was so rewarding to me and had so much fun doing it. It was probably one of my favorite photo shoots as well, and that was something I just really was excited to finally do. This is a side note. I kind of want to start a podcast this year. I don't really know what it would be about, but a podcast and a blog are things that I like really want to do. And make more TikToks, but also not go on TikTok. Okay, that's confusing. I started my YouTube channel this year, which is probably my #1 thing that I'm proud that I did, because that basically was really hard for me to just step out and put myself out there. Anytime you're putting yourself on the internet, it's just, people are gonna have something to say about it. I've had people say something about it, and if anything, it was good, because I knew that that's the criticism. It happened. That's it. I made it through, right? Like, there are people that love my channel and support me just as much. So I'm really happy that I did that this year. I finally, this is a weird one, I finally unpacked from my move in New Jersey. When I had got back from quarantine, at the beginning of quarantine, I still had moving boxes in my closet, and I unpacked, everything is like organized, and I made my room, and that was an accomplishment for me because I was putting it off forever. I went viral on a TikTok, 11.5 million views currently. The dumbest TikTok. I did a video on that if you'd like to see what that TikTok is, or follow me on TikTok. I learned how to use Premiere this year. I had always used iMovie, and I really wanted to up my Adobe game, so I really invested in Premiere and Photoshop, and that was something that I really always wanted to do and currently do for my channel now, and so I'm really happy I forced myself to do that. I ordered my first Canon, which I'm filming on, and that was a goal for me, to get a vlogging camera and pay for it. And I had, one of my previous goals was to get a Nikon, a photography camera, which I think was like 2 years ago. So my goal this past year was to get a filming camera, and I did. We got Kona. The best part of my year was getting Kona, not gonna lie. Kona is my absolute child. I love him to death, and we got him, and he really made our quarantine so much more enjoyable to just have a puppy to cheer you up. I completed my last math class ever. Like, I got it done. I never have to take math ever again. I revamped my portfolio and my resume, which was something that was hanging over my head as job applications are looming, and I did it. I just forced myself to do it, and I'm really happy with how that came out. I created a little logo and brand for myself, which was another goal of the year, and I did that. It's funny because I have other goals on here that I didn't get to do this year. Like, I wanted to dye my hair, maybe at some point. I wanted to make a recipe book, which I started and never finished. I wanted to write a song. I didn't do that for this year. I used to write music like forever ago, and it's not like the best, but like very therapeutic, and maybe I'll do that this year. I have on here grow my YouTube channel, so I think that that's gonna be a big goal, is to grow this channel and make it into my own. I really want it to be my own brand, an extension of me for you guys. I really like making these videos, and I'm really happy I was able to start that this year. So those are all my goals, dreams, and plans. I have opened up. I just want to say thank you to my like 200 subscribers I have right now that have supported me through this year. Like, I'm gonna cry. I just like have had so much fun doing this. Like, it's not even a big deal. Every time I make a video, I have so much fun doing it, and I love it. I'm not even like, I just like doing it. So thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. Let's see what 2021 brings me. I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but hopefully it's a good thing. Hopefully I can find a job this year. That's another goal. But thank you guys like endlessly for the support. Like, you don't even know how much I appreciate it. Thank you for all the love and just positivity, and I hope that I can give that back through my channel, which was the goal of this when I started it. But yeah, thank you guys. If you haven't already, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys in my next video to kick off this year. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.